how should the Bills draft? Should they take the best player available? Should they draft balanced? Or should they go all in on the offense? And I said that I want the Bills to draft balanced. But then I was like, wait a sec, I don't think really answer that to its full potential. So in the moment, I said I want to draft balance because I think it's important to address the offense and the defense. But here's the thing, I think it's important that you try to do all three because the Bills say they always want to take the best player available, right? But you also want to draft balance because you don't want to neglect one side of the ball. But then at the same time, you want to get as many weapons as possible to help Josh Allen because that was one of the main things at the end of the year. How can we get more weapons for Josh? So going back to Jeff's statement from last week, again, that's how I want to dive into tonight's show because if the Bills try to do all three of those things in the draft, and then I think they will be successful with that because I want them to take the best player available. They try to set themselves up to where they can take that best player available, but it's important that you have to do that with a grain of salt because if the best player available in round 3 is a quarterback, do you really want to take a quarterback? Now, Brandon Beane said that at his press conference this week where he said, yeah, we could take the quarterback and then we could trade him down the road for more assets. But if you're in win now mode, you're trying to win right now. What good does it do to draft a quarterback just to try to trade him and get more capital in the future? So again, you have to do it with a grain of salt. And I think that the best way to do this, for me at least, you'll be seeing my mock drafts coming up here, but the best way to do it is to segment it based on the value of each round. So the way I do it here is you've heard, if you've been following the show, I'm a big Jack Campbell guy. I think that the Bills need to take a linebacker with their first pick. However, I do not think that they should necessarily take one in the first round. I wouldn't be mad if they do, because if they say, you know what, he's there, let's go take him. Okay, fine. But I think that there's value in a linebacker in the early second round. That being said, I also think there's a lot of value with defensive tackle throughout the whole second round and going into the first round, maybe even the third round. But I think that second round is really the sweet spot. And then wide receiver, too. So I think those positions are interchangeable within those rounds. So if you take the best player available between those three positions in those 3 rounds, then that will be balanced. Because then once you get to rounds 4 through 6, that's where I have a tight end, offensive tackle, and a defensive end.